Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. Going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Pisces. That's Pisces Sun, Moon, or Rising for the month of October 2025. Before we get started, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. I think you're going to really like it here. For my tried and true who have been with me for years and years, I so appreciate your continued support. It really means the world to me. To my new members on my YouTube channel, welcome, welcome. There is more to come, more for the basket of deplorables and more for the basket of adorables. More fun coming. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And for my Patreon, you also need to keep your eyes peeled because there's some new stuff coming out. Besides these my members and my Patreon folks get first, so they get a sort of a sneak peek of the month ahead, and then everybody else gets it a little bit further into the month. So thank you so much for your continued support. All right. We'll get started. We're going to look at the astrology first, then, just general astrology for the month. Then we're going to look at, for you specifically, Pisces, and then we'll do the card reading. And this month I'm using the Handail deck. Handail. I love this deck for Pisces, and we're going to be using the Crystal Ally cards to pick a crystal for the month. So something to help sort of you move through the energy of this month. Okay, let's get started. Let's look at the astrology. Alrighty. So we're going to just look at the astrology for the whole month, and then we'll get right to you, Pisces. Okay, so a couple of things I want to point out. We're in a new month, which means we're in a new vibrational frequency. We're in the 10th month of the year. And so the 10 in the tarot is the Wheel of Fortune. It is located on the path between the Sephiroth of Jupiter, which is in Cancer right now, and the Sephiroth of Venus. Venus moves through two signs this month, starting the month in Virgo and then moving into Libra. 10-1 is about change, and it's about staying balanced within the change, sort of being an observer of the change around you without getting caught up in the ups and downs of life. Of course, we're in a 9 universal year, right? Separating the wheat from the chaff. Last month was a double 9 energy, and so there was a lot of letting go. There was a lot of releasing. There's still some releasing to happen and to go, but what we'll probably notice this month is a shift in direction, or a shift, a palpable shift, I think, in the way the energy is moving. If we take the 9 and the 10 and we add them together, we get the third vibration this month, and that's the 19-1, which in the tarot is the Sun card. This is the path of emotional intelligence, and this is the card of illumination. Illumination. It is a 1, so it's about a new beginning. So there is some new beginnings happening this month for all of us. But at the same time, there's still things that are dissolving away because we're in a 9 universal year. So the main themes this month is healing, change, and illumination, or revelation. This is also a card of revelation. So there is continued revelations coming our way. Okay. So we start the month in a flurry, probably from last month, because last month was quite the flurry of activity. We start with a Mercury square Jupiter. This is a crisis in action square, and there's a lot of information. There's a lot of people telling people what they believe. There's a lot of people, just a lot of back and forth with that. Excuse me. But it is about creating a foundation, like a thought foundation for your philosophy of life, really. We have on the 6th, Mercury ingress into Scorpio, a fellow water sign. And we also have a full moon in Aries that's happening. And so we'll look at that specifically where it falls in your chart. But the full moon at 15 degrees of Aries, that Sabian symbol, an Indian weaving a ceremonial blanket, cosmic consciousness, understanding sort of where you are in the grand scheme of things. And of course, cosmic consciousness is a Pisces energy. So you know you're there. You may not know exactly where you are there, but you are there. We also have that day Mercury in conjunct Neptune, Neptune being your ruling planet. So in the beginning of the month, things are a little foggy. And you being a Pisces, you kind of, more than any other sign, probably noted how to navigate the fog. But even Pisces has to be a little careful with this. On the 7th, we have Mercury in conjunct Uranus, and we also have Mercury square Pluto. Now, so as Mercury moves into Scorpio, it becomes the point of a fickle finger of fate, or yod, with two transpersonals, um, Neptune and what is it? Neptune and Uranus, making that in conjunct to that Mercury, requiring you to change your mind about something based on an evolutionary imperative. And then we have Pluto square it, Mercury being in Scorpio, Pluto being in Aquarius. This is the last quarter crisis in consciousness square. So we are questioning authority as well. Um, on the 8th, Venus makes a lovely sextile to Jupiter. That is helpful for making friends. It's helpful for conversation. It's helpful to work towards solutions. Jupiter is in Cancer, and Venus is in Virgo. Both those signs want to help. They want to help. They want to nurture. They want to. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen, and this is a first step, I think. All right. Um, on the 11th of October, Venus, which just had this lovely sextile to Jupiter, makes an opposition to Saturn. This is a little hard on Venus. And Venus being in Virgo, not even the sign that she's most comfortable in. Saturn in Pisces, not a sign Saturn's comfortable in. It's just kind of an uncomfortable detente, perhaps, because oppositions bring awareness and show us just how far we either can go or have gone. There could be financially, that could be a time when we see a downturn in like an actual downturn where you're seeing it and feeling it and really noticing it in the economy. Venus then ingresses into Libra on the 13th. Venus likes being in Libra. And as Venus moves into Libra, she actually becomes part of a grand trine with Uranus and Pluto. She opposes Neptune, which we would expect because Neptune is still in that first degree of Aries. That gives us a view of perhaps how much compassion we need to have, a lot. And also on that 13th, October 13th, when Venus ingresses into Libra, Pluto actually stations direct. So when these transpersonal outer planets change, there's a lot of power. And so not only is Pluto trining Uranus, which is its own power pack, you add Venus to it and Pluto stationing to go direct. There's a lot of forward momentum and power. And I think the power of the feminine and sort of the power of peace is looming and coming in. And I feel like the beginning of the month is challenging. It's a challenging month, but there are challenges and there's help, and then there's like, oh my God, what is this going on, right? So there's, oh my God, what's this going on? Then there's help, and then there's a little more help, and then by the end of the month, I think we have a little more perspective. I don't know how much better we'll feel, but we'll have more perspective, and it's always better to have more information in these times. On the 17th, we have the Sun square Jupiter. That is a Friday. Be careful you don't overextend yourself either financially or physically. Watch your back that day. On Monday the 19th, we have Mercury conjunct Mars. This is where Mercury, the planet of the mind, and Mars, the planet of action. So what's in your head is you're doing it, right? It's like it's almost like having a Mercury in Aries. As soon as you think it, you're in the midst of doing it. That's sort of the energy. It's at 20 degrees of Scorpio. A woman draws away, dark curtains closing the entrance to a sacred pathway. Faith in the future, faith in the future. And Pisces is all about faith, and really kind of all about the future, because it's from the great cosmic sea of Pisces that the future emerges. Um, so we have to have faith. Gotta have faith. Do, 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 do. On the 21st, we have a new moon in Libra. That's at 29 degrees of Libra, right at the end. Involvement in humanity's evolution of wisdom. We take from our ancestors and pass to our descendants, and thus co-create the flowing and flowering of knowledge. This is saying to share your knowledge, share your understanding. On the 22nd, the next day, Neptune ingresses back into Pisces, sort of backs into Pisces. It'll stay at that 30th degree of Pisces the whole time it's in Pisces. It's going to turn around, I think in December, it turns around, goes direct. And then by January, or it's either the end, January or February, I can't remember which one, because it and Saturn, like Saturn does 1 month and Neptune does the other month. But they're close together. It's like within, I think, a week or 2 weeks from apart. So it is going to turn around in the beginning of the year, and then it's going to move into Aries, and won't be back in Pisces for 150 years. So we're done with Neptune and Pisces. And Neptune and Pisces has taught us that we're all connected and that we're all one, and you can't do something in where you are and not expect it to affect the world over, right? We have a global economy. So all right, so Neptune ingresses into Pisces. The sun, um in conjunct Neptune. So Neptune moves into Pisces, and the first thing that happens is the sun makes an inconjunct from the last degree of Libra, and then it moves into Scorpio. As the sun moves into Scorpio, it again comes up against those transpersonals. We have a sun square Pluto. This is a last quarter crisis in consciousness square. This could be power struggles. We might see power struggles happening. We might have it in our life. We might have it in the outer world. The sun makes an inconjunct to Uranus. So you need to make adjustments um, to your ego, perhaps. Not that Pisces really is known for the ego so much, um, but certainly willing to let new things in. Mercury, let's see, Sun squares Pluto. I said that. Sun in conjunct Uranus, in conjunct Neptune. So the Sun is part of a yod, the 22nd, 23rd of October. Um, on the 25th, Mercury makes a trine to Saturn. That's nice. That brings some stability to our mind. We certainly could use that. On the 28th, Mars makes a trine to Jupiter. This is a lot of energy moving. And if you're well intended, it's good. And if you're not well intended, it can be really bad. So be extra cautious around the 28th, the end of the month, around Halloween. I have a feeling that it's going to be interesting and a more interesting time, right? On the 29th, Mercury makes a trine to Neptune and then enters Sagittarius. Mercury and Sag, foot and mouth disease. No, sorry. Um, Mercury in Sag is plain speaking and plain talking and not afraid to say stuff. So expect things will be said. It does oppose Uranus as soon as it moves into Sag, so you can expect reactions to the things that you say, or there will be reactions to things people say. Just be aware of that. And then on the 30th, Mercury makes a lovely sextile to Pluto, with Mercury in Sag and Pluto in Aquarius. This is the type of sextile that helps to move us forward in a more progressive and humanitarian future. So hopefully after all the trials and tribulations of October will actually come out the other side with some helpful energy for folks, because as far as I can tell, there's very little helpful stuff coming. Although, that being said, from the outside world, from the inside worlds, I bet you there's a whole bunch of wisdom. So, all right. So let's take a look specifically for you, Pisces. We'll go to your chart here. Now you're the last one, so it's going to take a bit. Here we go. There's the Sun card, right? We're in the Sun. Where's the Sun this month? In your 8th house, shared resources, and 9th house, the house of truth and justice and long distance travel. You might actually get to go somewhere, uh, actually take a trip and go somewhere, which I think it would be good for you. You have Mars there as well. You have Mercury there. You would learn a lot. Any kind of trips you make, that would be once the Sun moves into to the 9th house, which happens when the Sun moves into Scorpio, which I believe was the 22nd. The Sun, of course, in the 8th house, illuminates our most intimate and sometimes complex relationships. You know, that it's complicated thing that you see. That's sort of a Sun, that's sort of an 8th house thing. Mercury is there as well. It starts the month there, and Venus is there towards the latter part of the month. Remember, Venus comes in and makes a lovely trine to Uranus. Uranus is here, and to Pluto. We got that grand trine going in the water houses. You're a water sign. A lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. Pluto, yeah, Pluto here in Aquarius goes direct. Pluto's going direct this month. In your 12th house, you're a sign that rules the 12th house. So having the planet of transformation in the most amorphous house is interesting. It's interesting. You can create a lot of great things, but you can also create a number of demons or devil, like that. The negative, you have to watch the negative thought forms when you have Pluto in that house. Here's Saturn in in Pisces, moving through back in your 1st house. Okay. So there may be a couple of things that you still need to deal with when it comes to your body, your physical health, your vitality. The 1st house can be your vitality. Neptune, of course, starts in that 2nd house, but then moves back into that 1st house where it's been for 14 years. So you're pretty much used to that Neptune in the 1st house energy as a Pisces. But there may be a couple of things that you have to deal with before you're freed of having Neptune in that house. Uranus, of course, going retrograde in that 4th house, the 4th house of soul. There can be illuminations around family, sudden illuminations, maybe even some past life memories that come through with this. But there can be disruption in your home. So be aware of that. It's going to be there for a long time. So it's not like, oh, you're done. Your home is disrupted. You'll learn how to work with the energy. You're pretty malleable and mutable. So I don't think you'll have too much of a hard time. With that, Jupiter in your house of romance. In Cancer, remember it's in there for about a year. This is also the house of creativity and children. Your children may be a little bit more of a drain on you than usual with Jupiter moving through there, or they can be more of a joy. It kind of depends. It kind of depends on the situation and perhaps what kind of relationship you have with your kids. The full moon is going to be happening in the 2nd house. And of course, the sun, when the moon is full, the sun is in the opposite sign in the 8th house. So this is your axis of values, the values that you have, how you value yourself, and also the values you share with others. So you will have an illumination around that, and then you can make decisions from that point. And then the new moon happening towards the end of the month at the 29th degree of Libra in the 8th house. This is a time to maybe start a new relationship with how you share your resources with others. Okay. And that's the story. That's what I see. All right. Well, hopefully that was helpful. And let's look at the cards. We're going to do the card reading. I always connect this deck to Pisces because I had a friend back in the day, late 90s, I guess, mid to late 90s, and this was her deck. She had this deck. When I met her, she was using this deck. I think it was the only deck she actually had, which for me and my friends was unusual. We usually had like, 10 or 12 or 20 or now 50 or however many decks I have on my person. Not 50. I don't think I have 50. I would have 50 if I could. Oh, goodness gracious. We could do tarot scopes for the rest of my life. All right. You notice that I usually use a certain amount of decks that I use. You probably recognize that if you've been watching me. Okay, let's see what Pisces has to look forward to. Woo, I love this. I'm a Pisces moon. We got the Ace of Wands. New projects. Yes. And something new beginning. New project. Let's see what's challenging that. Harmony. This is two of Pentacles. It might be it might be a great idea, but you may not feel financially stable enough to actually do it. You can do it. You just have to be real careful with your money. Underneath, we have the Three of Pentacles. I love the Three of Pentacles. It's like one of my favorite Pentacle cards because it really speaks of the power of three, the power of working with others, especially others who are good at what they do. So what I would say is, with some of the stress that you have financially, I think will be allayed with the fact that you're working with people who actually know what they're doing. See what's in the past. We have Spider Woman. Oops, excuse me. This is the Mother of Stones in the West. So this is the Queen of Pentacles. Spider Woman is the woman who weaves the web of her life. And she knows everything that's going on in that web, no matter how far away it is from the center or where she's sitting. She's well aware of how everything is connected. That's you. That's you, Pisces. In the sky, we have the Eight of Cups. So the sky can be a message from spirit, or it can be what's going on in the outer world. The Eight of Cups in this deck is called failure, but it's really about moving away from that which no longer spiritually fulfills you, or that fulfills your life or makes your life better. It's more of a burden that you need to release. So it could be that spirit is saying, release any burdens. Release the burdens. Release the burdens. Okay. In the immediate future, or the card for the month, we have the World card, the universe in this deck. The world is about endings and new beginnings. And the interesting thing, because the Ace of Wands, while it is a new beginning, right? It's always new with the aces. The vibration, numerologically, is a 9. It's a 27-9 vibration. And 9 is about endings, but it's also about new beginnings. So we're in sort of in between that place now where we're coming to the end of a 9-year and the 10-year is sort of like looming. And the 10 is about something new and the 9 is about letting go. So these cards really sort of indicate where we're kind of all at this time. But you specifically, something is going to end this month. And it's its natural course of things. This is also a card of manifestation. So if you've been trying to manifest something, writing a book, creating a deck, some sort of project, some sort of case you're working on, it comes to an end. It comes to an end, and something is born from it. So it is a Saturn card, and of course Saturn is in your sign. Um, how others see you? Very interesting. We get the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the secret. It's a secret. See her up there? You can barely see her. See her head there under the two. So this is about secrets. People may think that you're holding back a secret, that you're not revealing everything, Or you could be the one who reveals the secret and then everybody knows it, right? So there's a mystery. People find you mysterious this month. In your domestic situation, we have the five of swords. This can be abuse of power. This is called defeat. Um, you have to be careful. I'm not going to kid you. This is be careful card. So watch who you let into your environment, because not everybody is well intentioned this month for you. And you're pretty chill with almost everybody. You're like, oh, everybody makes mistakes, blah blah blah. No, yeah, they do, but you don't want them to make a mistake on you. So I want you to be especially vigilant around your home. Be vigilant around your home. Hopes and fears, material gain. We'll call that a hope. Oh, I can't believe I have all this money. I'm so fearful. Although, the more you have, the more you have to lose in a way. So there is a little bit of fear connected to prosperity. Is it going to last? Is it not going to last? Is somebody going to try to take it away from me? You can decide where you fall in that. And the outcome, the Seven of Swords, it's called uselessness, or in some decks, futility. So there's some futile action here. All the cards are very positive, but the cards that are not in this reading are mind cards. So I would say kind of stay out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Um, I think figuring out things logically is going to be a challenge this month. So maybe you suspend logic. You pay attention to your physical body, pentacles, you pay attention to your resources and your creative spark, the fire. Let's see if we can get a major arcana, the devil. All right, so this says to me there may be somebody around you who, again, is not well intentioned. You can't trust everything. You have to be a little bit more discerning than you generally are. Okay? And it's not that Pisces isn't discerning, it's that they're very forgiving. And sometimes they forgive things that they should hold people accountable for a little bit longer, at least. You know, forgiveness is divine. We're not quite divine yet. When we get there, we can forgive everybody. Okay, let's see what's underneath it. Oh, justice. Ooh, strength. And then the Son of Wands, or the Prince of Wands. So the Prince of Wands is traveling. So whatever falls away, whatever this distress is with all of this defeat and uselessness, the swords, ultimately, it's a reminder that if man's justice doesn't work, cosmic justice does. Cosmic justice, and to be strong and to be willing to stand up and to move on your beliefs. Okay. So a little bit of a mixed message, Pisces, I have to say. Let's pull let's pull a crystal card and see what kind of help we can get from the crystal allies. What crystal ally card does Pisces need to work with, be aware of? Some of these crystals are easy to find, some of them are not. And you might say, well, where am I going to get that crystal? If I'll let you know if it's a more common one when I pull. But you can even just have a picture of it. The energy is the energy. So if worse comes to worse, just put it on your computer screen in the morning. A beautiful, like whatever crystal it is. And you can look at it and get the energy that way if you can't purchase one. And if all else fails, you could get a picture and put a little quartz crystal on it, because quartz always magnifies things. So, all right, let's see what we got. We got bloodstone. Ooh, bloodstone again. I just got this for Scorpio. So if you have Scorpio and Pisces, it's a double bloodstone month. And bloodstone is reasonably priced. It's a sort of a greeny stone, and it has some red flecks in it. That's the blood, I guess. Let me see if I can find a red fleck in this. Yeah, you can see the red is there. It's hard to see because of the light, but there is red in there. And bloodstone is for courage. It's for an ability to move forward. Like I said, it's a bit of a mixed bag this month, and so you're going to have some courage to walk through it. To walk through it, stand up for yourself. Don't be anybody's patsy. This is not the time for you to be anybody's patsy. Bloodstone is also a financial security stone. Once you have a piece of bloodstone, you should make sure that you keep a tight grip on it, because there's I think an old wives' tale that if you lose your bloodstone, you can lose some money. So don't do that. And I'm not telling you that so you have to worry about it. I'm telling you that so you put it in your pouch and, tie it up good. All right, guys, that's story. I'm Pisces moon, so I was, it's a little disappointing, but this is a fabulous card to have to start. New ideas, new energy coming in. But it is a 9, so some things have to still fall away. You still have some stuff that has to fall away, which is true of all of us because we're in a 9 year anyway. So you're progressing. It's all progressing. It's all moving forward, even if you don't feel like it's progressing, even if you feel like we're over and done with. We are not. We are not. We're just getting started. So rest up. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful month. I'll see you next month for the Taroscopes for November. And yeah, exciting times we're living in. Or it's interesting times. It's both. Excitingly interesting times. Take care of yourself. Self-care, self-care, self-care. Lay low. You don't have to be a hero. You only have to be a hero for yourself. Stand up for yourself for sure. But take care. It's crazy out there. All right. Much love, everyone. Namaste.